It's 2025. Why are we still depending on over 150-year-old technology to save our houses from fire? These fire hydrants full of water tanks, they were doing that over 150 years ago, even before the cars got invented. But still, we got all this now technology, we got AI, but we can't find a better way to fight fires. We got to do something. This is crazy. We're depending on tanks full of water, fire hydrants. This is what our great great grandparents had to deal with when their house is on fire. We got to do something. We got to do something new. This is just too much. I'm an expert. I've sat all weekend trying to figure out how to make things better for all of us. And this is what I came up with. This technology is crazy. I mean, fire hydrants. And we're surrounded by water. Why are we depending on the same water we used to drink as for fire hydrants? Why are we connecting to the ocean, you know? Why are we doing something new? What do you think, Paul?
I'm waiting for smart hydrants.
Yeah. Do something.
I'm going to control it through my smartphone. I don't even have to leave the comfort of my own recliner. I'll just hit this, and all of a sudden it will start dive bombing like from my drone.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
That's what we need to do.
Don't you think?
It was crazy. I mean, Biden was in town. There were 5 fires going on, so they couldn't even fly airplanes out of LAX full of water because Biden is in town. So, of course, they can't fly planes when the president's in town. Like, why didn't Biden just go home, you know? But didn't he realize maybe he needed to get the hell out of there and let people fight these fires?
Sure.
I mean, the whole thing.
Now there's another fire. Now there's a 6th fire I heard this morning.
Fire.
There was 5, and then now there's another fire that started.
All this tax money these people pay and stuff, you know? That's why I always think, like, if you got to live in that area, you should live in Orange County. Live near Disneyland, because they would never let Disneyland burn down. So that's one safe thing. Have you ever been, like, in the Palisades and you got a Malibu hoodie on, so.
Yeah, I've got my Malibu hoodie on.
Did
That's
you
why.
buy it in Malibu, or did you
Yes,
get
sir. I bought it in L.A.
Were you like surfing? Are you
Yeah, a
surfer?
total surfer. Can't you tell?
Well, I went to Santa Monica College, so I spent my time. I used to boogie board. I never really tried surfing because my balance sucks. But I did spend my time out there, you know, and it's sad. I mean, all these fires going on at once, and I don't get it. Like, it rained like here 2 weeks nonstop. Why doesn't the rain show up in LA? Why is it they haven't had rain in LA since March?
That's a great question. Couldn't answer you, sir.
I mean, it's ridiculous. What the hell is going on? You know, I'm not trying to start conspiracy.
So we had last
theories.
year, we actually had a lot of rain. This year, we didn't have any rain. So, of course, all that rain turned to vegetation, and now that vegetation is dry, and it really did a number on them.
It's really our fault this what happened. It's the Bay Area's fault because we sell water to LA because there's no rain. So we sell them the water. We just didn't sell them enough water, you know.
Is that what it is?
We held back, you know. But they got to come up with some new system. The system is crazy. Like, it makes no sense. All the technology we got, and they can't figure out how to fight fires and stuff. And the other craziness we got to stop doing, like, why is it that every time there's an accident on the road, a fire truck shows up? Do we really need to be using fire trucks for all this other stuff? Why can't we just use them for the fires? We don't need, like, I crashed when I was in high school. We crashed near a house. The first people that showed up were the fire people, and I love them. You know,
That's why they call them the first responders,
the
sir.
first responders. But the reality is, all we needed was an ambulance and the police.
Right.
We don't need these huge fire trucks showing up every time there's an accident, and they're all over. Like, they're all, I mean, we got to do something about it. But this technology is ridiculous. We got all this technology, but we're still depending on something they were using 150 years ago, and we got to do something about it. We got to do something. The mayor of LA was in Ghana, of all places, during the fires. I guess, I mean, she's a minority, so she thought I shouldn't be there in case they try and blame it on me. Like, they can't say I started the fire because I was in Ghana. That's kind of smart, though. That is kind of smart, though. As a
Who
minority,
did they shut down? They shut down somebody from talking because they were saying it was probably arson. I think it was like Tim Allen or someone.
oh yeah, of course it's arson. It was Steve Gutenberg, wasn't it?
They had Gutenberg, and it was funny because I saw a couple different times. Excuse me, a couple different times where Gutenberg was on TV. The one time he was on CNN, and he was on, I think it was CNN, and he was explaining to people, hey, if you're gonna park a car in the middle of the street in Pacific Palisades, we have a lot of emergencies going on here. Just leave your keys in the car, so if somebody comes up to it and they need to move your car, they can move your car.
It's true.
And it was funny because the interviewer was going, oh, thanks for that advice. What's your name, sir? And he goes, I'm Steve Gutenberg. And so, like, the guy didn't even know he was talking to Steve Gutenberg.
It's true. I mean, I was in LA during the riots. I was in Venice, and I did what most people did during the riots.
Hide?
They went to their friends' houses in the good neighborhood.
Oh, I see.
I spent the rides in Santa Monica, but I remember them. The weird thing was that I lost my wallet, so I had no ID for a couple of days. They had a curfew. The supermarket shut down at 5 p.m. But every time they burn down the bad neighborhoods, there's a conspiracy. When good neighborhoods burn down, there can't be a conspiracy. Are they really trying to shut us down, saying this is conspiracy? I don't know. I mean, the Santa Ana winds happen every year. I don't know what happened, It's tragic. But the reality is, all these rich techies all live in Beverly Hills. So until the fires reach that area, of course there's going to be a conspiracy because they don't, it's in good neighborhoods, but when it doesn't touch the real neighborhoods, there's always going to be a conspiracy. But I don't know. I feel bad, I do feel bad for all people who lost their houses.
Yeah, like lots of actors. I saw Billy Crystal. We just talked about Steve Gutenberg. There's been multiple people.
Well, John Goodman lost his house.
John Goodman did,
I thought that was torched by somebody. I think some female comedian.
You think it was Roseanne?
I think Roseanne just thought, man, this neighborhood's on fire. I should go out there and just torch John Goodman's house while I'm at it. But I don't think that really happened. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was good. That'll get you canceled.
I don't think that, maybe.
Don't worry, nobody's watching. You're fine. Nobody will see it.
A lot of these people, they don't feel bad for them because they're like, well, go to your vacation house in Hawaii if you can't be in Malibu, If you can't be in the Palisades, go to your vacation. And it's true. It's like, we're not made for this. We're not made for these type of fires, And we weren't expecting them because it's winter. We always think of fire seasons being the summertime, you know.
A lot of people had to actually, for like Pacific Palisades, for people to even find out if their homes were still there, they couldn't go into Pacific Palisades. They actually had to park like 4 or 5 miles out and hike in.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sad.
Oh no.
You don't know is your house is there still.
I sent my assistant to go look at the house.
Is that what you did?
I did. I told my assistant go see
As long as your pot's still there, we're good.
I know.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
think most of these people just sent some assistant. Go look at my house, man. I'm quite sure they weren't out there hiking 5 miles.
Jeez.
I'm sure they sent some. I would have just drone. I would have sent up a drone.
Drone.
But yeah, they got mad if you're flying drones and stuff. They don't like the drone, you know. But how soon before people start doing tours to this area?
It's
You know, TMZ is already thinking about doing some kind of tour.
the Burning Man tour.
I was in New Orleans after a couple of years after Katrina, and I was looking for a tour because I couldn't figure out where the bad area was. I was on the
Katrina.
bus, of course. I was on a
There was
bus.
that group called Katrina and the Waves.
Hell yeah.
There's a joke there. Not a good one, but a joke.
Nah, but it's gonna be a mess, you know. Dealing with a city is a mess. Having to rebuild, you know, you got to get permits.
Yeah, they said it's gonna take so much time. It's like Paradise or like Santa. Oh, was it not Santa Rosa? Yeah, Santa Rosa. Where it was?
Yeah, in
The big fire.
Paradise Center. Yeah,
This
my
other
family.
guy. They say it's so devastated. It's like that. It's like unrecognizable. You can't even tell where.
Oh yeah.
You can barely tell where certain things were, or certain structures and businesses were, because it's so toast.
And you know, some of these people are gonna try and build like even bigger, bigger. They're thinking bigger, bigger. Give me 30 rooms. Give me 40 rooms. You know, but give me 50 rooms.
Pacific Palisades fire.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking for images that we can share. And so like
I think all fires are arson, aren't they? I mean, in one way or another, most of these fires are all made by man, you know?
right.
I'm not calling it a conspiracy, but there's always some lunatic out there, you know, hanging out, hiking, you know. I was with a friend of mine who lived in Santa Cruz. We were just, we were kicking it on the beach one day, and I threw no lighter on the beach on the sand, and he like freaked out on me. He freaked out on me. He said you people, you just
I
don't
mean, these are
respect.
crazy images.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's some crazy person out there. I'm not saying it was, you know, I mean there could be all kinds of conspiracies. Like I mean who just lost an election and is blaming Hollywood for losing that election? Like I don't know. I can't come up with anybody who's pissed off at Hollywood because somebody lost a presidential election. I don't know. But would they go to this limit? But I think people are gonna get rich off of this, and that's who we should look at. You know, there's gonna be certain groups, the people who build. You know,
Right.
I just want to say that, you know, if Trump starts deporting illegals, he might as well just bring them to LA. You know, let him help rebuild and stuff. You know, just straight up, because we're gonna need a lot of people to rebuild these neighborhoods.
And the Sunset Boulevard sign in the background, in the
Yeah.
foreground.
Are the comedy clubs out, or are they open yet? Or
So I've heard of a couple people in LA that were comedians that were evacuating, including Stephen Allen Green, and he's in Hollywood, like North Hollywood.
North Hollywood? Yeah, it didn't even come close to the valley, did it? I mean, it didn't. The fire's not in the valley. The valley seems to be safe, you know. But my thing is like, I would just rent.
Here's the containment or the fire areas, I guess. Here's the list. But incredible footage, photos.
It is
Very sad.
incredible. And, I do not sit there and watch the news all day. It's always going to be depressing. Don't get depressed
Yeah,
over this,
especially when you see things like death toll rises.
Of course, the death toll is going to rise. I mean, there's,
It never goes down.
I mean, there's people, it's going to take a couple of weeks to figure out, to find everybody who died in this fire. Because as far as I can tell, they didn't give people a lot of warning. And some people just straight up ignored it. They're like, because I guess they get warned about fires all the time.
Right.
I guess the same area got evacuated a couple weeks ago over a fire. But so, some people don't take the thing seriously. I don't know. There's a lot of trees where I live, like.
Man, you see these images. I don't know how anybody couldn't take this seriously.
Because when the fire started, there was nothing in the news. A lot of these houses burnt down in the first day. I mean, after the second day, you're watching it, but this happened so fast. A lot of people really didn't get a warning. They didn't get warnings over it.
Right. That's incredible.
It's sad. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Altadena. I spent a day in Altadena one time. I spent a day in Altadena.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, Altadena is not like a rich area, so it's sad. And dealing with the government bureaucracy is crazy, because they built a bunch of new shops near a shopping center where I live, and for like 2 years nobody moved in, and everybody thought nobody wants to move in, and then in a month, like 5 stores opened up.
Mm.
And it turns out the city was holding them up. The city was holding them up. We got a taqueria, a yogurt place, a Mountain Mike's. We got a crumble that opened up, the cookie crumble. And
Yeah, you talked about the cookie crumble last time while teasing me with cookies.
I should bring you some crumbles now.
You should bring me some crumbles.
I'll bring you some crumbles, but I don't really drive, so first I got to get to the crumble place. You never had the crumble?
How far is it?
It's not that far. I mean, I could do it. I could do it. Do it. I was just thinking about this. About like comedy shows that only book one woman. There's a.
Is it because they're doing it because they want to make sure that they don't want a whole bunch of middle-aged white guys kind of thing? Like
there's a quota. A lot of comedy shows run quotas that they're only gonna book one woman per show.
So I think shows should not be totally slanted. I think shows should be. Here, let's see if we can get to. There we go.
I think it's barbaric to only book one woman per show.
I don't think you should think
it's
when
20,
you're booking a show,
25.
right? And when you're booking a show, you shouldn't be booking a show going, okay, I need one person of color, one LGBTQ, one girl, one whatever. But I get the idea of that you don't want your show to be so one-sided. And so there was a lot of times, there's actually once or twice where people had come to me and said, hey, hold on, what about your lineup? And it's like, I book people that are funny. I book people that if I put them on the good same show, it would be a good show.
Are you saying women aren't funny?
No, I mean, I can book an entire show of women. I could book a show with no women. I could book anything in between. But I understand about trying to make your show that it's not just vanilla, so to speak.
My thinking was, I think there should be at least 3 women per show. And my thing is, like, I don't think there should ever be a comedy show with just one woman because I don't think it's safe out there. I think there should be at least two women per show. That way they're friends, they can talk to each other. They can, people. That's one thing I liked about comedy, that I was around my friends a lot. But I would feel weird that the woman is like the only one there. There's no other female comedian for her to talk to. And that kind of like puts you in a weird place. And I don't think it's ever right to do that.
To put somebody in a weird situation.
Yeah, I don't think it's safe. There's a lot of creeps who do comedy. I don't think it's safe just to have one woman per show. I think for a safety reason, there should be multiple there. To-
I don't think shows should be booked with the idea that you have to put one of these types of people in there. If it's women, if it's people of color, if it's LGBTQ. I think you should be booking shows and curating shows like you would an art exhibit. I think you should think about it about how are these people going to mix? What kind of show is this going to put out? And so that should be your first and foremost. As a producer, you should be thinking, how is this show going to come off? How are people going to receive the show? And if it's all one-sided, or if there's not one thing, like some group not representative. Like if it's all guys and they're all middle-aged white guys and they're all clean comics, or they're all this and that, that's fine. Then make it a show that's actually, you can call it, Vanilla Sundays or something.
but
And literally just make it a show about middle-aged white guys that are clean.
the reality is that comedy is run through women. You go to the punchline.
Like businesses run with
You go, to,
Jews.
you go to the punchline and you go to Cobb's. It's mostly couples that go to these shows. It's usually the women that decide if we're going to a comedy show. So you got to think like your show is not going to survive unless you book a lot of women, because women are the ones deciding if they want to go to the clubs or not. You know?
You mean in a date situation, it's the girl that
Yes.
yay or nays it?
I'm saying that these clubs are full of couples at night, and it's a woman that like, let's go to the comedy show. So that's why
It might be the guy that says, let's go to a comedy show, but I bet you it's the girl that picks the show.
That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of like saying, hey, we're having date night. Let's go out to a movie. Who
Yeah.
picks the movie? It's the girl.
You see, and the women do.
That's
their
why it's
research.
rom-coms.
They'll go to their YouTube. They'll watch the stand up. They're like, I don't like this person.
Right.
We're
They'll
not
they'll
going-
watch at least a minute long YouTube video and decide on their own if that's who they want to go see.
Men are like, let's go. Who cares? Who cares? Let's just go.
Yeah, and usually a guy that wants to go see a comedy show, he wants to see it for totally different reasons than a girl does.
That's true.
They both want to go and they both want to laugh, but they think they're going to get to their laughter a different way. And they probably will.
Yeah, I heard the argument that it's not that easy to book women for comedy. And my thinking is, maybe it's you. Maybe they don't want to be on your show.
Okay, so this is what I'll say about it's hard to book women for comedy, and I'll say it here in the Bay. I booked shows for many years. I constantly reached out to, because in a way, I think the percentage of women that are doing comedy in the Bay Area that are funnier than guys, there's less women doing it, but the women that are doing it have a higher percentage of them that are funny versus guys. If I look at a group of 10 guys and 10 women from the Bay Area, there's going to be more women in that group that are funnier than the guys. If it was just a random polling of just grab 10. I think, at least for my my taste. I like women comics. They usually, it's not all about dick jokes. It's not all about crude. It's sometimes a different perspective. But anyway, I like female comedians. And so I guess my point is, for years, I try to book female comics on my show. I reached out to 30 comics in the Bay Area. Probably only 10 of them wanted to play. So a third of the female comics would actually reply to me and say, yeah, I'll do your room. The other 2/3 would either say it's too far, there's not enough money, or no thank you.
Well, that's true because
And it's funny because those
you
are
were
the
booking
same
them at
women.
Westwood City.
But those are also the same women that I see complain that they don't get booked. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. In the beginning, and when I mean in the beginning, while you're still a showcase comedian, you're not earning big dollars, you're not doing TV or anything. You have to pay your dues. And so you may have to drive to Redwood City to do 10 minutes to get $10 and a free drink. But the guys are doing that too. I'm not paying the women less. I'm not giving them less time. I'm not giving them less of an audience. I would actually give them the same deal because, again, I'm not being sexist or racist or anything. I was trying to get people that were funny on stage. And so going back to, are women hard to book? Yeah, sometimes they are. And sometimes it's because they don't want to do the distance or they don't know me. And they've not worked with me on my shows. But usually when people work with me on my shows, they're like, wow, that was a great show. I want to do that again. So, but I think that's it. I think there's just not as many women. And then there's not as many women that are willing to do it for near to nothing like the guys do. I know guys that will do it for a free fucking drink.
But that's the other problem. Like, they're booking you. I mean, it costs money to go on BART.
Sure.
It costs money to gas money. If you're crossing the bridge, that's more money.
Doesn't it cost you one way or another? Even if you go to a bringer show, even if you get a decent show at, let's say, a Punchline on a Wednesday night where there might not be a full room and you're having to put 10 butts into seats. I'd rather, I don't know. Either way, you're paying to play.
Well, it benefits men because men are friends. They can go together in cars. But that's the problem with just booking one woman per show. Like, she has nobody to get a ride from.
Right. Or, yeah, she has to ride with a whole bunch of guys, or she has to go on public transportation.
Yeah.
And so, is it true that comedy is harder for women? Absolutely.
It is harder
because there's more it's like the whole systemically it's bad. It's never been geared for it to be easy for women. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely. It should be accessible to anybody. It should be accessible to anybody, no matter what your sex is, no matter what your race is, no matter what your sexual orientation is. I mean, really, funny is just about making people laugh. It doesn't matter what package.
Let's open up the phone lines. Anybody have opinions on this?
Yeah, let's see. We got phone lines.
Do we got any listeners out here?
Let's see here. We got phone lines.
Anybody got opinions on this barbaric booking of just one woman per show? I don't even think that's legal. I think you can get sued. I don't think it's legal to do quotas like that anymore.
Right.
And if people do it, you can get sued and stuff. Especially if you do like big shows. It's like after a while, it's gonna get harder because you're gonna have a bad reputation.
Right.
Is anybody actually listening though?
Yeah. Is anybody listening? I should look.
Have somebody listening.
Yeah. That's
somebody listening.
Well, I'm wondering also what video we have. I don't even know what video. Hold on. Jeez. I was trying to get
2025. I just think I think it's better for like a psychology standpoint, have more women booked on a show. That way they can talk to each other, give each other advice, because we're depriving women of becoming friends with other women. If all they're doing is one woman, like shows with only one woman, and at the end it's like it gets uncomfortable. You're the only woman there. There's a bunch of creepy comedians. It's not a good situation. At least have another woman there who can tell you like, you don't need to go home with that guy. He's got STDs, That guy's a creep. You got to stay away from that fool,
So I guess we can open up the phone line if you guys are watching. We'll open up the phone line.
Open up the phone line. Call us up.
The studio hotline is open 650-503-3435.
This booker is only booking one woman per show. They should be protested on. Like, if you know anybody who does that, let them know it's not going to happen anymore. It's a new year. You got to have at least 2 women. You should have at least 3 women per show. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You think it? So I would love to book more shows with women because, like I said, I think women most of the time are funnier.
They are funnier.
On a
That's
whole.
what I don't
On a whole.
understand. It's because they don't want to do your one-woman show. That's why they're not doing shows like that. That's why it's harder to book these shows with women.
I don't think I've ever booked an all-woman show.
Maybe you should.
That would be fine.
Maybe you should.
There's definitely, I know one person, it just comes up to mind that I would want to book right away.
Who is she?
Tammy T. Love.
Yeah, Tammy, Kel, she's the only woman who they had her headlining and she killed it. But
yeah, no, she's a natural.
I had her booked on this show and she canceled on me.
Really?
Yeah, she canceled on me.
That's too bad. Yeah, no, I like her. She's real.
Yeah. But yeah, she was the only woman who headlined that show. And she just killed it. Like, that was the other thing is like, yeah, it was weird. The thing that they always put women number 3. Like every woman who got booked always went up number 3, unless they were hosting.
Yeah, that's kind of weird too.
That is weird because number 3, that's like a sexist number, isn't it? Like, why not have them go up number 9 or something, I mean, if you're going to do that, it's crazy. Like, the sexist, these bookers.
And where was that? Cobb's?
That was Kells. At Kells, they always put the woman in number 3. Always number 3. And it was like, why number 3? Why number? I don't know why number 3.
So how do they pick the lineup? You go there and sign up at a certain time for Kells?
No, it wasn't an open mic. It was a book show.
Oh, it was a book show.
I didn't even know the lineup. Like the lineup, I had no clue.
But you knew that the woman was going to be 3.
The women always want number 3, unless they.
So it's the same guy. It's right in the lineup.
Well, yeah. Well, Chris John was the booker of that show, but I mean, I don't think he was booking it. But
you shouldn't be able to tell how the lineup is going to be. I don't know. I can look at a flyer. I can look at a comedy flyer of anybody's and go, oh, this is the order that show should be in based on what I know about the comedians that are performing. And I think a producer needs to produce a show like a comedian writes a comedy set. You make your second funniest joke first and your funniest joke last. Same thing applies with that. You make your second funniest comedian first, your funniest comedian last, and then you have it progress up.
I don't know. It was always number 3.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense. So then if you have somebody like Tammy T. Love.
Well, no, she headlined, but she was the only woman that actually headlined.
Okay.
I don't think there was no woman who was like number 5 or 6.
You start the show with a bang, you end the show with a bang, and everything in the middle gets better and better as it goes along.
That's right. But yeah, the woman was always number 3, and it was really weird. It was like I never understood that. Like, I remember there was one woman who she hosted. She was a professor at a junior college nearby, and I told them that you need to hire her because basically she had all her students show up for the show, right?
Right.
And we were having trouble bringing in people. And I told them, I'm like, you need to hire her, get her on this show so, she can at least bring her students every week. But no, that was a no-go.
Right.
But yeah, it was weird. Like number 3, I don't even know if the women even knew that they all went number 3. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was some secret. Like, I don't know. But I didn't know the lineup, but I knew unless the woman's hosting, she's gonna go number 3. And it was really like, yeah, it was, I don't know. I mean, at the end, some people think they're male feminists and they really do believe it. And at the end, they do stupid shit. And at the end, I'm like, well, you know, you're not really a male feminist, you know.
Right.
You're just a man. You're just a man. But yeah, it's about time we stop doing all these things because comedy is hard enough for women. Why make it even harder for them? But my thing is like, yeah, you know, women should have the same fun as men. You should be able to have friends on the show that you know. Maybe it's easier to book them if you got a couple of them. They can ride up together. You know, at this point, they got to find some guy. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe they're new. You know, they don't know. They don't know. I mean, and you know, a lot of these people are just they're not good people. Some of these comedians, I mean, it's hard enough to control the general population, but it's like, you know, some of these people you can't have them around. And like then you have a then you only have one woman on top of all this craziness going around. It's like it's dangerous. Like you need at least two of them. At least they could be there for each other, you know.
Right.
And but I understand it's harder, but I think it might be just hard because they don't trust you, you know. And if you're having trouble booking women, well, maybe you should get a female booker to do it. You know, female bookers. I mean, I see shows with a bunch of women all the time, and usually when I see one on Instagram or I see a lineup full of women, you know, a woman's running this show. You know, but
Right.
then you look at a show that men are running, and some of them still like they're still down with the one woman thing. You know, it's like that's just not okay. That's not okay. Quotas are not legal, you know, and it's like it's at the end. It's like it feels kind of lonely, you know. I think a lot of male comedians they like the fact they're gonna be around their friends. You know, shouldn't it be the same thing for female comedians? Let them be around their friends too. That's my thing is like for a psychological standpoint, I think it shouldn't be done that way.
No. So you starting to think about producing shows? What are you doing?
Nah, I mean I saw somebody write about it on Facebook a couple days ago.
And you never put that much thought into it?
Well, no, I always thought about it, but I never really booked a show, you know. But I was part of the Kel show, and it always surprised me, like at this day of age, that they still did that, and
Right.
that they would only book one woman, you know.
Because they're, hate to say it, they're guys.
Yeah,
And that's horrible. That's so short-sighted. Like I say, I think actually women in the Bay Area have it going on way more than a lot of the guys do.
they're a lot funnier, you know.
They push the boundaries a lot more. They look at different angles. I just like their perspective.
Yeah, you know, and I think it doesn't have to be that way, you know. And I think like maybe these bookers should realize maybe the reason women aren't doing their shows or they don't want to do their shows is because you got a problem. You got to look at yourself, you know. You got to look at yourself and think like what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong that you know that women are, you know, maybe you should pay more. Maybe we should pay women more to be on these shows, you know. If you're only
Oh,
gonna
so that would get them. That would show them respect.
yeah,
I
because
think guys would be kicking and screaming, but oh fucking well.
I mean, do they really know? Do they really know who gets paid what at this point?
No, so nobody should tell what another comedian makes, but
Yeah.
I always pay people the same based on whatever job they're doing.
Yeah, but
So if
you
they're a
pay the
host, if they're an opener, if they're a headliner,
Yeah.
they get paid.
if you pay the headliner, you pay the headliner more.
Then let's say the
Yeah.
opener, sure, on a real showcase. But like even my last showcase in Redwood City, I used to call it the all headliner show because I paid everybody the same because I thought everybody was an equal. And that's why when I would get comics go, oh yeah, I'll work that night or I'll do a set that night. That's great, thank you. And then they send you a message by yourself, not in the group of comedians from that night, and they go, "Hey, I need to go up first."
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, because I'm going to go to this other show that night too." No, I don't want to book you for that.
Yeah.
I book you based on hopefully you're going to be there for the fucking show.
Yeah.
If it's a 7 to 9 show, hopefully you're there from 7 to 9.
Well, if you're not paying that much, you know, and you might as well be helpful to them. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll let people, like, if they say, "Is it okay if I book something else that night, blah, blah, blah," sure, I'll take that in consideration. But I don't like booking somebody saying, "Hey, here's the hours of the show. This is the time I need you to do." And then they go, "Okay, great, I appreciate it." And then the next thing they telling me where they need to go in the lineup. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I mean, you make up the lineup.
right.
I think most of these people are being paid through Venmo anyway. So
Yeah, they're usually getting paid through some digital app
Yeah.
nowadays.
they get
Even if they're getting tip money, usually they're getting tipped out in a cash app of sorts.
yeah. So really, they don't know if they're making the same or more or less.
Right.
But really, I mean, inflation's going up. I mean, it costs like $7 just to cross the bridge.
Right.
Gas.
Well, that's what I was saying is one way or another you're paying to play. And so
Yeah.
you might be only getting $10-15 from whatever gig you're doing, but you just spent that at least in gas and toll.
But what I'm saying is, if you want quality comedians, you gotta pay.
You got to
them.
pay more.
You gotta pay more.
Well, then
know?
you got to have more venues that are willing to have comedy in them, that are willing to support comics and producers and
Yeah.
willing to let them make some money or help them make some money. But a lot of the venues that I've worked with, they're really tight. That's why they have comedy in their place,
Yeah.
because they don't have enough money.
It's true. You know, you got people screaming that their show's sold out, and then they refuse to pay the other comedians more money. Like, either
If they're selling out shows,
Yeah.
they should be paying them well.
that's what I'm saying. You talk about I'm selling this, I'm selling out, and then you don't give any more money to the comedians. It's like, of course they're not gonna want to do your shows because they're thinking like, hey, you know. And anyways, they don't even give credit to the venue. I don't see any of these people saying like, maybe the venue sold the tickets. You know, the theater shows. These
It
theater
really
shows
depends on the venue,
Yeah.
because the venues don't do shit too a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
a lot of the venues don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, if you're screaming over and over, my show is sold out, and then you're not even paying comedians.
I had one
You know?
venue that complained about, well, could tell me every week about how I should be doing things differently and how they would see more people coming to my shows if I would only do these things, and I would do them. I would keep open-minded, and I would try to incorporate some of their ideas, and I would work with a venue. But I can think of one venue in particular that even though they could bitch every week, they couldn't even meet my basic needs of, hey, I need access to the Facebook page on the event that I do.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that you have hanging in your window that has our event, it should probably have my brand and my name and my contact info on it. Put our event on your website. Put flyers in your facility for our event. Do any kind of advertising you could on your end, because I'm doing it all. And like I said, every couple weeks or whatever I would do the show, they'd be like, "Oh, well, we didn't get the turnout we wanted." Well, okay, sure. What did you do this week? "Oh, I run a business. This is for you." Well, yeah, but you can't sit here and bitch at me and make me do things, and I do them, and no more people come in here. It was funny because it would be like every time we would have a show, I could count who was there for me.
Yeah.
They would come into me and say hi to me, and they would say hi to the person in the bar too, but I knew who they were there for. Even the ones that were the patrons of the bar ended up going on that night they rather not go on another night because that night was our night, and they knew that they would be entertained and have a good time. So,
And it's true. Like, I mean, when you make a deal with a venue, you gotta decide. But people, you can tell the venue wants you around or not. You can tell. Like when you're there, you're like, I mean,
they either treat you right or they don't.
yeah, you can tell. Do these people really want us there? And they're thinking, there's like a million comedy shows going on in the Bay Area now. So, like, a lot of these people think, well, I'm gonna pack the house, and they're there to sell liquor. Like, they're trying to get people in there to buy liquor. I mean, comedy's a liquor business.
Right.
You know?
And so venues want you to do well. They want you to pack it, but they don't want to have to do any more than what they're doing to do it. They want you to do all the legwork, and when it doesn't happen, they want to complain that there's not enough people in their venue, and it's your show and your situation.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had other shows in the same venue that did better than me, which again shows you partially, yes, it's the show, but again, partially it's the venue. If the venue actually took some sort of stock in their business and said, fuck, what do I got to do to bring people in here? Oh, I guess I have to have a website that works. I guess I have to have signage that people know that we're even open.
Yeah.
I guess I have to pay our performers, because when you don't pay anybody anything, what are you getting for free?
Mm-hmm.
Not much.
And most venues, they decide that the promoter's got to do all this, the producer,
Right.
like the producer's got to do all this. Yeah, it's true. A lot of venues, they got Facebook, they got TikTok, Instagram,
Right.
and they're not like promoting the show either. I mean, you could give them a flyer, and they could promote the show too.
Right.
It's crazy. It's like, yeah, Kells, there was always a lot of people upstairs during the show, but I don't think the venue was responsible to get those people to the show. I thought the producer should have gone up there and talked these people into coming down,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not they're up there. They're not going to tell their main customers, go
walk away from the bar.
Yeah, go downstairs and
Walk away from the bar so that you can't readily just keep ordering drinks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, It's true. They're not gonna tell their regular customers, you gotta go watch comedy. But that's why you need a door person that knows how to talk to people.
But that's also the short-sightedness of the venue, because if the venue actually did kind of push the comedy show, they would get, people would be happier. And even though, let's say it's downstairs or upstairs or around the corner or whatever, it's not right next to the bar.
Yeah.
Before you know it, people get happier. They're laughing. They're drinking more. They're tipping more.
And then there's the other thing. You're dealing with bad reviews,
Oh, yeah. That's going to happen when comics perform like shit.
You're dealing with bad reviews. These customers are going to go to Google or whatever, and they're going to leave a bad review.
Especially if you have an open mic versus a showcase.
Yeah, it's true, That's why, you got to book better comedians.
Oh, yeah. And you have to have those conversations with them. So if you're in a venue that serves food, you need to have a conversation with your comedians. Hey, by the way, no gross out humor.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, you shouldn't say anything about shit, piss, fuck, crap, things like that, because people are going to be eating their food and you're going to say something gross and they're going to be like, I'm done.
No diddy jokes.
No diddy jokes.
No diddy jokes.
Did he do it?
Diddy.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I saw a lot of memes on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, my Diddy evidence burned down, A lot of people excited about the Diddy evidence. I guess Diddy's house burnt down, but...
Oh, really?
Well, he's got like 20 houses.
But one of them did. That was the one in L.A.?
I'm quite sure wherever he has all these videos, it's like hidden somewhere. I'm sure.
I think when they raided those houses, they took hard drives and
Yeah.
the hard drives to the cameras and stuff.
But knowing Diddy, I'm quite sure that the real stuff isn't sitting in one of these houses.
It's in a cloud somewhere.
It's in some vault somewhere. They got an underground vault full of this stuff.
Oh, the like sex tapes or whatever.
Yeah, because that's how they make money. They keep selling these sex tapes to people. They're like, I got a sex tape of so and so, fucking Diddy in the ass. You know.
That's funny. Well,
Pay me $50 billion, and surprisingly, there's always some rich person like, yeah, who buys these things. You know. I mean, we can talk bad about Diddy all we want, but there's a market for this shit out there. You know. There's a market, people, because they really don't care. They're like, whatever, you know. That's why that's one of the main reasons he does it, is because he knows he can always sell these videotapes, you know.
if he has these videotapes, he's probably just doing it to keep himself out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think, what are they called? Freak offs or whatever they're called. So if he's having these freak offs, then I'm guessing other people know what he's up to, just like he knows what other people are up to. So it's just one big party. So
I think he's still having parties in jail.
Yeah, I bet he is. I bet she's having freak offs there.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know who's not having a good time in jail? Is R. Kelly. R. Kelly, because I'm quite sure these dudes are just peeing on him like crazy. And they're like, I thought you liked golden showers. You know?
Yeah.
I thought you liked golden showers.
Yeah, I don't think his time is going to be done.
He's like in the shower.
And he got
some
30
guys
years.
Just peeing on him.
He got 30 years?
Yeah, he got 30 years.
And how old was he? 40
yeah.
something?
Look at Jay-Z. One mention of Jay-Z, and he's got like a lawyer up somebody's ass. He's suing the lawyer. That's how these people get off, you know. They're like, you accuse me of something, I'm gonna ruin your life, you know. I'm gonna ruin the lawyer's life, your life, everybody. Like that's how Diddy did it for years. He basically got lawyers up people's asses and stuff, and they basically walked away, you know, until it became too much. Until there was a new generation who really didn't care about Diddy, you know. These kids don't know who the fuck Diddy is. Doesn't know. No, these people don't even know any Diddy songs, you know. They don't give a fuck about Diddy. They know Biggie, but they weren't even alive when Biggie was alive, you know. How many of these kids even know, are even fascinated with the whole Diddy thing? I remember when they told me somebody killed Tupac and Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you remember the days? Do you remember where you were when you found out that Tupac was dead, or when Biggie was dead? I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah, certain people when they die, I kind of remember exactly where I was. I don't remember that. I remember that was in Vegas, but I don't remember where I was at that time.
Well, Tupac lasted a week in the hospital before he died.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He lasted a week in the hospital, but yeah, I had a roommate who was a journalist in the music industry. And I remember when he got a text saying Biggie's dead and stuff. I was there, and Biggie always surprised me. But the more you think about Diddy must have been involved in both of these killings, you know, because he was like the only one that really benefited from Biggie being dead, because of the record sales went through the roof, you know. All these musicians are more valuable dead than alive.
Yeah, but I don't know if they knew that at that time.
Of course they did. I mean, there was...
Most of the time, if an artist is making money and they're a good artist, they're going to be worth more alive than dead, because they can create when they're alive. Once they're dead, all they have is their current and back catalogs. They're not making anything new to make money.
That's why they're selling the catalogs early in life. That way, nobody tries to kill him over the catalog, you know?
Oh,
Justin Bieber sold his catalog a couple years ago. He's not even 30, is he? He's already sold his catalog because he knows As long as I own my catalog, somebody's gonna try and get me. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. People for years try to tell us that Michael Jackson and Prince were broke. These people were never broke. Michael Jackson owned the rights to the Beatles. How are you broke when you own the Beatles catalog?
Right.
I mean, it's the stupidest thing. But every year, Prince is broke. Michael's broke. I'm like, these people were never broke. It was just the media trying to bring them down and stuff.
Right.
It's silly. It's enough. The LA fires reminded me of one of Bill Hicks's records. It's called Arizona Bay. Remember Arizona Bay?
Mm-mm.
Why do you think it was called Arizona Bay?
Because California's going to drop off into the ocean.
It's true. California, LA is going to drop off in the ocean and stuff.
And who was this? Stanhope?
Bill Hicks.
Oh, Hicks.
Bill Hicks.
Okay.
Arizona Bay. I think it came out after he died, but yeah, it's but I mean, LA is a desert. It's a desert. That's why it doesn't rain in LA. It's a desert. Beverly Hills, all these, LA is not even that old and stuff, LA is not even that old. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a big comeback for LA. That the Olympics are coming to LA. Have you been to the Rose Bowl? I went to the Rose Bowl one time.
Driven by the Rose Bowl.
I went to a game at the Rose Bowl. I went to a game at the Rose Bowl stadium. I wasn't at the Rose Bowl. But I went there one time. Fresno State was playing UCLA. I went up there, and it was weird because I never saw this place, right? I've never saw it. I'm like, how the hell did I live in LA and not even see the Rose Bowl? Because it's way the hell in the hills, hidden somewhere, So I don't think it's going to affect the LA Olympics at all, especially LA, because as far as I know, nothing has really burnt down. Fires don't come near the stadiums and stuff. Why can't we get anybody calling in? Put up that number again, you losers.
The studio hotline is open. 650-503-3435. The studio hotline is open. 650-503-3435.
It's a sad day when I have to stand up for female comedians. It's a sad day, that it had to be me to open up this world and say this is not right,
Right.
It's a sad day. It had to be me, but I'm glad it was me because, personally, it really hurt me that I was involved in anything like this, and I apologize to anybody that it affected, but I didn't book these shows. But yeah, it's like we got to be more fair. We got to be more. Comedians got to look out for each other a lot more, This is just not some, when you're booking somebody, it's like an employee of there, they become an employee of yours for the day. And you got to treat your employees right, because if you don't, they're going to sue your ass, You don't want to be sued, even though it might be better for your career if you got sued. Like, I remember Sam Kinison used to have protesters at his show all the time.
Because he was always pushing the envelope.
He was always pushing the envelope. He was talking bad about AIDS. He had a lot of, he had a gay protesters out there, at his show. And it was wrong. It was wrong.
All right, so who's out on Twitch watching us right now?
Who's watching on Twitch? Are we on Twitch?
We are on Twitch.
I have a Twitch account, but I've never actually signed on because I don't play video games. My last video system was Atari.
Your last
the Atari.
So if you're on Twitch, let us know. It looks like somebody's on there, and I'm trying to see what they're saying.
My family did not move on to the Nintendos. I used to play Tecmo Bowl. One of my roommates had I think it was a Genesis. I'm not even sure. But I used to kill it on Tecmo Bowl. But I remember I would go undefeated, win the Super Bowl. And I remember I felt happy. But at the same time, I felt like, did it really matter? I mean, I went undefeated again, but who cares? It's not benefiting me. That's why. But yeah, my family, we had the Atari, but we never moved on to the Genesis, or what system is big now. I'm like lost. I'm lost in the video game market. But yeah, I used to love Tecmo Bowl. That was my thing. But yeah, now I never moved on to the Madden, because the Madden was complicated, and it lasted for hours. Like, a game lasted for like 3 hours. I don't
So
want.
apparently we need people that they were getting questions. So Myron said comedy's a tough business. You basically have to suck dick to get where you want. And then
Well, tell Myron.
Joe, is it Giannino? My name is Joe, and I paid my dues. Comedian in a wheelchair, and I can put asses in the seats. I am 58, started in 84. Respond back. So, Joe, we're here for you.
Well, tell Joe to call in.
Yeah, Joe, call in.
Call in. You got the number. Call in. Tell us about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you wanted, Joe, call
Yeah.
us in. Let's give you that line again.
Tell Myron, if he wants to do my show, you can come over and suck my dick anytime he wants.
All right, here's that number again, folks.
He doesn't have to swallow.
The studio hotline is open. 650-503-3435.
That's your cue to call in, God damn it. You have a discussion. Why are you just writing it down? I got a crazy story. I went to the Metreon on Friday, and
You still have your movie pass?
yeah, I renewed it because it's Oscar season. This is when they bring out the good movies.
Right.
And I saw 2 movies. Then I tried to sneak into a third, and I saw like in the front section,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, a guy pulled up in a wheelchair and said like, "This is my seat." And I felt so, and he had his dog with him.
Sorry, I was trying to read our messages. Go ahead.
And the dog started licking me, and then the guy's like judging me, like, "Why are you paying for a seat?" I'm like, "I did pay for a fucking seat. This is my 3rd movie," and like, it was my bad, because it was Friday night. And like, Friday night, you should never sneak into a movie theater. I do it the smart way though, because they don't tell you what movie's playing. I just follow a bunch of people.
Right.
I go to the bathroom, I walk out of the bathroom, and then I see a bunch of people walking. But usually I'm fine. I sit in the front. I've been in people's seats before. I moved before. And yeah, but it was the first time where, I felt bad about it, I actually left the theater because I felt shame. I felt shame that I was in this guy's seat.
You felt shame.
I felt shame. And he did tell me, the dog doesn't bite. And I'm like, what if I don't move? Is the dog gonna bite me? Like, what if I refuse to move, man?
Right.
I'm not. No, this is my seat. And the problem is that I wouldn't have been sitting there. But a lot of these Metreon seats don't even recline anymore. I don't know if what's wrong, if they need a battery, they're unplugged. I think they're unplugged, but this was like the only seat in the section that still reclined. That's why I was there. I was sitting there, and but yeah, it was my bad. I actually saw the new what the hell's that singer's name? Robbie Williams. Robbie Williams has a movie about him, but Robbie Williams, like, there's a monkey plays his role.
Okay.
I think it's a dude in a monkey suit, but it's pretty funny. But I don't know much about Robbie Williams, because he's English. I had no idea that he was in a boy band, Take That. Did you ever listen to Take That or
No,
no?
no, I don't think so.
I never did either. I didn't even know. I'm like, what do you mean this guy was in a boy band? I knew Robbie Williams, but
No idea.
mainly
No.
because his name sounded like Robin Williams.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I also saw The Count of Monte Cristo, which was really good. It's in French, but no, nobody's giving The Count of Monte Cristo any awards nominations.
No.
But it's a pretty good movie. It's an art film. It's not playing that much, but this is the best season to go to the movies. This is when they bring out the adult movies.
Like you said, it's Oscar season. If
It's
there was
Oscar
a thing.
season. It's
And they always
Oscar
bring them
season.
out now so that they'll be fresh in your mind when you vote.
Yeah, and in fact, Francis Ford Coppola, his granddaughter directed a film.
Right.
Called The Last Showgirl. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm like, nothing spells nepotism when you got a third generation of directors in your family.
Yeah, because he has a daughter, but she's
She's a good director. She's a really
Okay.
good director.
What did she direct?
She directed that Bill and Mary movie that was in Japan.
Oh, Lost in Translation.
She directed Marie Antoinette. She's
Okay.
directed a lot of good films.
So she's proved her worth a
She's
little
a
bit.
good director. I'm not saying she's not, but
And is it her daughter?
I think it's her daughter. Yeah, I think it's her daughter.
Hmm.
But it turns out I was watching some special on him. He's like, his family's like on the 5th generation of Hollywood.
So I was talking shit. Well, I won't say I was talking shit. Yeah, I guess I could say I was talking shit. I was kind of talking shit. I think I've told you before. I was a tour bus
Yeah, the tour
guy,
bus, yeah.
and so we pulled up in front of his restaurant there, and they were talking
North
about
Beach, yeah.
right.
North Beach.
And so as we pulled over in front of it, I said, "Hey, this is Francis Ford Coppola's restaurant. It's also where he says that he wrote part of The Godfather, but we know that's not true. He actually wrote it down the street at Tosca." And then I look down, and who is it? It's Francis Ford Coppola sitting at a table right outside of his own restaurant. And he looks up, and I go, "Oh, matter of fact, there he is now, folks."
Well, he
And
didn't write The Godfather.
He literally, wait.
It's based on a book.
No, but I meant he directed it.
And yeah, he directed it, but
But he didn't write,
The
no,
Godfather
that's
is based on a
Kazan or
book.
whatever, isn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah, not Kazan. Puzo, Mario
Puzo.
Yeah, The Godfather is part of a book.
But he, what was it? Oh, so now I can't even remember the fact that I threw in his face that was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did he like wave at the bus? Or,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. And he was there with someone young, which made me feel like, and it was a girl. I think that was probably his daughter at that time.
Oh yeah. I mean, if a fire broke out in San Francisco, I'd probably go to that restaurant because that thing is made out of metal, isn't it?
Yeah, because you
all-
could tell it's all the metal patina on the outside.
Maybe that's not the best part because the metal's gonna heat up and burn you anyway. So
Is that what's going to happen?
yeah, I always thought that these fire evacuations, like, I always wondered if I was ever gonna be in one. Have you ever thought you might be in a fire Have you ever been fire evacuated? Or
No. No, I'm glad I haven't. Not in
No,
the city in a big ass building. No, thank you.
I haven't either, but where I live, they're cutting down a bunch of trees because the most valuable thing in my neighborhood is not me, of course.
It's trees.
It's the golf courses.
Oh, jeez.
And they realize it like they don't give a fuck about the lawn area unless it's a part of the golf course. So basically, they took out all the trees and the vegetation, the plants, and they just stuck in all these plants that barely need water. That way, you don't have to, what do they call those plants? They barely need water, and
Succulents like
Yeah,
cactuses.
it's full of. It looks like we're in Arizona because it's full of succulents now. But yeah, that's their thing. Like they don't want to waste any water on any lawn areas. They put a bunch of rocks, pebbles, all
Anything it
kinds
won't
of
burn. Anything it won't burn.
any pebbles, rocks, anything beautiful is being put out there. Anything that doesn't take water, and because during the pandemic, the only thing that made money was the golf course. The golf course made a lot of money during the pandemic, and my thing is, if a fire broke out, and there's full of trees where I live. I mean, it's really hilly. I don't know if you've been to my hood, Rossmore.
I've driven by it.
It's really hilly. It's full of trees. It's all wood. I mean, it's a disaster area, you know. And the worst thing when like one fire a year breaks out, somebody does something stupid. One time, I think somebody was barbecuing with a gas stove outside.
Mhm.
It was like 110 degrees, and it sparked a fire. The problem is, if your place burns down here, they still make you pay rent. You still got to pay the fucking, not the rent, but the monthly dues. There's dues, right? You got to pay your goddamn mortgage,
Right.
and now you got to find somewhere to live. And I figure the same thing is gonna happen in LA. They're still gonna make you, I don't know.
Pay your homeowners and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
And a lot of these places, they're not. They're like neighborhoods, but they're locked in. You
Yeah,
got
they're
secure-
gated. They're gated.
They're gated, so you're paying dues. You're paying dues. You gotta pay security. You gotta pay all this other stuff. It's gonna be a big hassle, and I'm sure some of these rich, famous people are like, they just want to build.
Right.
They want to build bigger than before, and they're gonna be excited. But it's gonna be a mess. My suggestion is go find yourself a nice trailer and just stick it on your property and stuff.
Right.
You're gonna be there for a while. You're gonna be there for a while. Go move to the valley.
Yeah, go move to the valley. It's
I think
cheaper.
the valley. For some reason, I don't think the valley got touched.
Not our valley.
No, that's the crazy thing is like all these cities that got burned down are all near the ocean.
Right.
Why couldn't we just get a bunch of water from the ocean and dump it on it? Like, you're near the fucking ocean. How you gonna run out of water?
Right.
And we gotta say goodbye to Gavin Newsom presidential bid.
It's not looking good for Gavin.
It's not looking good for Gavin. He's accusing Elon Musk of lying now. Like, that's what he's doing. Like, that's what the people want Gavin to do.
Right.
Is to be looking at fucking Twitter and saying that Elon Musk is lying. Like, I mean, houses are burning down, fool, and you're out there yelling about Elon Musk. Hello, wake the fuck up. Why don't you just get some leadership? Get some leadership. They're not gonna recall Gavin. They try to recall him anyway. I'm quite sure. I think the LA mayor's future is done too.
Right.
Because the guy who lost to her was all over CNN while she was in Ghana, and he's being interviewed everywhere. Like, this guy, he's like, hey, he didn't have to say it, but you should have voted for me. But really, it goes back to like, we need to figure out better technology. We gotta build some kind of AI robots full of water.
Right.
We gotta figure out how to get this water and just dump it on it. A lot of these rich people, they never thought this was gonna happen to them because they have private fire departments that they hire for this kind of shit.
Right.
But at the end, it happened too quickly. It's kind of sad. I can't believe we can't get anybody calling up. Where's Enoch?
That is sad.
Enoch is not even watching.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened to Enoch? Did he get a life or something?
Yeah, he got life.
Enoch decided to get a life. Kind of sad, Enoch.
So I played with my drone this weekend.
How was your drone? Tell me about your drone.
It's pretty cool.
What does it look like?
It's a little gray drone. And I finally got it to not so that I can fly the thing. So, I'm downloading videos from it now. So, yeah, let me see here.
What kind of drone you got?
I forget what it's
It's
called.
not a bird. I had a bird drone fly into my place a couple times.
So it looks like, let's see here. Let's see
And
if we can do it here.
the last time it came in.
This is the drone video. This is one of them.
Nice. Is that your house, or
That's my house right there.
are you spying on your neighbors?
That's my house. I end up spying on my neighbor.
Are you spying on your neighbors?
I end up flying over by the neighbors.
Are your neighbors like, are you like a peeping Tom or something?
Something like that.
You got any hot neighbors you're spying on? Or?
That's just crazy looking.
Don't be holding out on me. You got hot neighbors.
I ended up landing my drone on that guy's car right there.
Ooh, that's not good.
But literally.
Look at how clean your street is. Look at.
I know.
Damn. No wonder you live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No wonder you live like in Lathrop.
Yeah. There's the crash.
Your drone crashed, or
Well, it kind of crashed.
is it a plane? What does it look like?
It looks like a little it looks like here, let me see here.
It's not like a bird. It doesn't look like a bird. I had a bird fly in. And
Drone. So
Here is information from Encompass Insurance.
it looks like something like this. There's Timu. That's funny. Of course it's Timu. Let's go back to images. So it totally looks like this.
That's a real drone.
That's what it looks like.
Nice. How many cameras does it have?
Only one, and it's right in front there.
How much was it?
It was supposedly $300, but I got it for 40.
Oh, nice.
I think they try to tell you it's worth $1 million, but it's not.
Yeah, they always do that these days, right?
They always say MSRP like $300, but
Is it
$20 for you.
Is it Chinese, or
It is something like that. It is something that's cheap.
you're not afraid the Chinese are going to use it to spy on you? Is
No, it's kind of it's definitely. I don't think the Chinese are going to be using this shitty of technology.
it? You never know. You never know. Like, these TVs come full of cameras. People don't realize these new TVs are full of cameras. You know.
Oh, they are full of cameras. Everything's full of cameras.
Yeah.
But even like
So these TVs, you know, they could be spying on you. You don't even know.
so here's the drone taking off.
That's pretty good. Is that your big ass house there?
No, that's my neighbor's house, but that looks like basically the exact same model house we have.
Do you use the chimney when it gets cold? Or
We have 2 fireplaces.
do you use them though?
There's my house right there.
Oh, the white one? Or-
Yeah, the one that's right there.
That's nice.
And there's me in the background on the ground. There's me
Uh-huh.
sitting on the ground.
They're doing
And there's
yoga.
our house.
You're doing yoga on the ground while you're playing with your drone,
Yeah, I'm sitting on the ground watching it because
spying on your hot neighbors and stuff.
it's kind of does these cool things where it like flips.
Oh.
It even does flips like this one. It's about to take off, then it's just gonna go.
I have something I want to tell my fans.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're in college, do not be following sororities on Instagram. That is like the creepiest thing I ever saw.
Right.
I didn't even know sororities had Instagram pages, but somehow Instagram decided that I needed to look at a sorority Instagram page from Chico. And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, why does Instagram think like I would be like checking out some sorority Instagram page, you know? What do they think of me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What do they think of me? And I'm thinking this is a bad idea, you know. I mean, but I'm thinking this is crazy. Like every I think every organization's got Instagram pages, TikTok. TikTok is about to get banned, or
Yeah, it's supposed to be banned maybe as of today or tomorrow or something. Or it's actually within the week because it's right before Trump takes office.
but I remember that they try to make sure people in colleges couldn't use Facebook or Instagram, and there was a way that they could get into the, like they blocked them from the college computers, but there was a way to get into them anyway. I'm not sure you could ban TikTok, you know?
Right.
I'm not sure they could even do that. I think like I think TikTok is gonna make sure there's a way you can get into your page, even though it might be banned in America. You know?
Right.
I think they're gonna figure out some way to, because if you really want to get it, I don't even think it's legal.
Right, because you can actually use VPNs.
Yeah, you can use VPNs. I mean, I used VPNs before, you know, not because I was trying to hide anything.
Not OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So okay, so here's where I land the drone on my neighbor's yard or on his car. So again, this is something I've just started playing with.
Does your neighbor know
There's
you
my
did?
house. See, you could live in this unit right there. That one unit is our in-law unit. You could live in.
What do you mean your in-law unit?
We rent out
How much is it?
$1,000
Yeah.
because you have $1,000 shooting out your cornhole.
Well, what am I gonna do? I mean, what am I? $1,000 is good, but what the hell am I supposed to do out there and stuff?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. You can kick it and have a good time.
I'll grow
So watch
weed.
this. So there's our street.
Does it come with a pool or?
No.
Oh.
I want to buy one of those $300 pools. That's a above ground pool, but it's literally like you could sit in it. See how it landed on his car?
You should, because yeah, I mean it gets hot out there, right?
It literally just dropped on his car right here.
Does he know though?
Yeah, he saw me walk over. I go, I did really good. I go, at least I didn't land it on your roof of your house.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's
You're like a terrible neighbor.
hella funny.
You're a terrible neighbor and stuff.
I think it's funny. I need to play with that more. It's fun.
Yeah, I've never had a drone. I should get one. But
Well, I was thinking it would be really cool to do uh, in the plaza over here.
oh yeah, in Civic Center.
Yeah, Civic Center or by City Hall.
Oh.
I figured I could do some drone recordings and it would be kind of cool.
Hey, I used to play table tennis.
You used
A
to
lot.
play table tennis.
I used to play a lot of table tennis. If any of you like to play table tennis,
Right.
there's a couple table tennis out there on Civic Center, Bart. I'll go play with you.
Yeah, they have ping pong. They have
No, it's
cornhole.
It's table tennis. Don't call it ping pong.
Don't call it
Ping pong is
Cake
like
Forrest Gump.
it's table tennis. They got foosball. Yeah. What is it? The soccer table thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people hanging out there. I think it's really neat. You know?
Yeah. No, it's good.
They got like a gym, but you know.
No. It's
Usually there's always some homeless guy yelling shit. So
good. Right.
that's where it's really fun, you know.
Right.
Somehow homeless people like libraries, which I remember Duwa, he used to have a joke about the library.
What was his joke about the library?
And he said, you know, it's really funny that, you know, if you don't go to the library when you're a kid, you're going to end up going there as an adult, because you're homeless, you know. You're going to be on drugs at the library. So you might as well take advantage of the library, you know, when you're a kid, so you don't have to go back as an adult. But yeah, the library is crazy. The library is crazy. Like, you know, I used to go there. I actually was there. I was in the library when I found out Michael Jackson died. I remember that. It was clear as day.
I remember when you were just talking about knowing where you were. And yeah, no, I remember. I totally remember. Because I was at work, I was watching the news, and then I went to lunch. And while I was at lunch, waiting for my Togo sandwich, the news came across that they found him dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely,
Kind of sad.
totally sad.
I never saw any of the Jacksons in concert.
No,
Have you ever seen any of the Jacksons in concert?
no.
Never saw Janet, Michael, Tito,
Oh, Tito just died too.
Jermaine. None of those people.
Tito just died.
Yeah, Tito just died. Yeah. Jermaine's the oldest one. I think Jermaine was married to the owner of Motown, his daughter. He married the daughter.
Barry Gordy's daughter.
Yeah, he married Barry Gordy's daughter. So that's why he wasn't part of the Jack. He didn't move on to the Jacksons because he had to stay with Motown. He was married to the owner's daughter. You know,
Right.
what a horrible life that is.
What a horrible, horrible
What
life
a
it is.
horrible life. What a horrible life the Jacksons. I think Janet's on tour.
Yeah, she is. I
think
just saw a commercial for that.
I think Janet's on tour.
And she sounds more like Michael every day.
Oh yeah. So are you going to any Sketchfest shows or Sketchfest has started already?
Yeah.
Or is it starting or
You know, it'd be really great if I could it'd be really great if I could actually actually get something on one of those shows, but I've never submitted it, so I guess I shouldn't be so
Yeah, I never submitted either.
yeah,
But
I've always
Stephen
wanted
Ferris is doing a show on Thursday.
to. Right. And some people just get on shows and it's like, really? Jeez.
Yeah, but he submitted it last year. I think he submitted it this year and
Right.
but yeah, like there's different parts of Sketchfest. You got the stand up comedy, and then you got the shows that they sell money to. You know, they
Right.
have the famous people who show up. He's on a show Thursday. I don't know what show he is. He told me he was doing a show Thursday, and I asked him what show it was, wondering if he's trying to get me to go. Because I don't know. I don't know if he wants me to go. He hasn't told me. I haven't checked. I haven't checked my messenger, but I don't know if he wants me at the show.
Why would you say that?
No, because I don't know. I don't want to pay to get in, you know.
Right.
I'm not sure they even comp people at these shows, but
They probably don't.
no, but I mean, so yeah, Sketchfest is going on. It's hot on fire. And it used to be a big deal. It still is a big deal, but it's not like it used to be. I think Sketchfest was being run by what's the name of the improv troupe, the Olympic. Is somebody calling in?
No.
Oh, I'm like nobody's calling in. Where's Enoch? Enoch doesn't want to talk anymore.
Enoch, where is Enoch?
Where's Enoch? Enoch got a life or something?
Yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's see
Enoch got a life.
Let's see who's on Facebook and what they're doing.
Yeah, you know, like Meta this week, Zuckerberg was on Joe Rogan, and Zuckerberg never said that they're not gonna censor posts on Facebook or anywhere in Meta. What he basically said is the only people doing censoring from now on are going to be employees of Meta. They're not going to be the random public. Because I think what happened is the Biden administration was censoring posts on Facebook during the COVID. They didn't want any of the anti-vaxxers posts going through. So I think what he's saying is it's a new day. We're not going to let a bunch of politicians censor people just because they don't like what is being said. You know?
Right, sure.
But now everybody's up in arms. They're like, they're not going to censor anything. I'm like, nah. He never said they're not going to censor anything, okay? He said the people doing the censoring are going to be employees. I think that's what he was trying to say. They're going to censor you.
They're going to censor you.
But it's not going to be some guy who hates your stupid ass who's tracking your Facebook page, and every post they don't like, they're like, well, you got to take this thing down. They're not going to let people do that shit anymore. They're like, fuck you.
Right.
They're like, you don't like it? Why don't you come? I had a friend that used to he used to do censoring on Facebook.
Right.
And he said that he hated it, you know, because he said there's a lot of crazy shit on Facebook that most people never see. Like, this guy's not looking at random posts. He's not looking at comedians like, are they making fun of somebody? We got to take it down. They got some crazy shit on Facebook. So yeah, I had a friend of mine that used to do that job. So so don't think for a second that you're gonna Meta's gonna let you post whatever the hell you want
Right.
because they're not going to. But yeah, this reminded me. The whole LA fire thing reminded me of the earthquake in '89 in San Francisco.
Right.
That I spent a couple days watching CNN, and I thought San Francisco had gone to the ground. You know, so my thing is, don't be watching CNN or don't be like watching the news all day long, because they could be showing you the same neighborhood over and over. And I'm not doubting anything,
Right.
but the reality is we all know. We all know. They could be showing you one area over and over. Like the whole area is burnt down. I'm like, they could be showing you one block.
Right.
I'm not saying that they
They're
would
doing
do
it to you, but they could be.
they could be doing that shit to you. So just beware that if you're looking for devastation, they're gonna show it to you. I think only one area, San Francisco, went down in '89, like the marina. But they made it seem like, oh, San Francisco's all gone. Like, oh, San Francisco's all gone. I'm like, I thought San Francisco was gone. In fact, it was so bad. Like, the day after the earthquake, they canceled school for everybody, right, in the Bay Area.
Right.
And I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be with my friends. I didn't want to be sitting at home watching CNN like some loser kid. I had no clue. And I felt violated. I didn't really feel violated, but I learned anytime some of these things happen, just watch for an hour here. But don't be like watching it religiously, because they're just gonna show you, they're gonna keep telling you like it's gonna get worse. Because they want you to fucking keep watching. They're selling commercials. Okay? Don't think for a second that these newscasts aren't making money, off of these commercials. Don't think for a second that the commercial rates aren't going up. They're going up high. CNN is charging a shitload of money because they know we're all looking at LA. And I lived in LA. LA is huge. That's the other thing you got to realize. LA is a huge place. Don't think for a second that all of LA burned down. All of LA did not burn down. I don't even think a quarter of it burnt down. Maybe like a 16th of it. They keep talking about Malibu. I don't think Malibu burned down. Okay, I don't know why they mentioned Malibu. Palisades and Malibu are right next to each other, but I'm quite sure that they saved Malibu. I don't think they're gonna let Malibu go. Not that they let anything burn down, but there's certain areas that are more like, during the LA riots, they were burning down Koreatown and but the minute you try to go to Beverly Hills and burn some shit down, they'll shoot you down. They don't give a fuck. So don't think for a second everything you're being told is true. I'm not saying there's conspiracies, but I'm not saying that, but the thing about it is that people are going to make a lot of money rebuilding these houses, So we got 5 minutes left. Nobody's calling in,
Yeah, and then we have viewers, so thanks to the live viewers. But if you have anything to say it down in our comments. We're monitoring those.
Yes.
So feel free.
Yes.
You can also call in. The phone line is still open 650-503-3435. Again, that's 650-503-3435. Get you on the show for a couple minutes.
I don't think Myron paid his phone bill for some reason.
Yeah, he was definitely on the internet. So
Myron's always on the internet. Myron's all over Kill Tony. I'm surprised. Like,
he was asking me about Kill Tony and if I was on it or something. I was like, no.
Are you? How does Kill Tony work? What do you mean? Are you on it?
Yeah, I think you have to actually go down to LA and attend one of those shows and sign up a list. And literally, they bring you out. It's not like you do jokes. They just talk to you.
I thought it was in Austin, isn't it?
Is it in Austin?
I think Kill Tony is located.
I
in
thought it
Austin.
was L.A. and I thought it was like the Nerdist thing.
No, I think it moved to Austin with Joe Rogan and stuff. I think it's based.
And is he in Austin? I thought he was in Texas.
No, I mean Joe Rogan. Well, Austin is in. Texas.
Well, I meant, yeah, okay, you're right.
Austin is in. Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking Colorado. Austin.
Have you been off?
Aspen.
Austin is a fun place to visit, though.
No, I've not been.
They 6th Street. They got a street that there's no traffic. It's called 6th Street. It's just full of bars, so people are just drinking there all night long.
Right.
Especially in the summer, it gets hot. Austin is like a fun place. I mean, if you gotta
It's
go.
a party town.
It's a party town. It's a college town. It's also the capital of Texas. So you got the state capital there.
Right.
You know. So yeah, it's a fun place to visit. If you haven't been, you should go check out Austin. You know, I went for a week. A friend of mine, he drove up there, so I went with him.
That was funny. I couldn't figure it. I was like, Aspen. Aston
is a
No, Aspen though. Yeah, I started saying Aston, and I'm like, Austin,
no,
Aston,
Aspen, yeah.
and then I'm thinking Aspen.
Aspen is another place.
No, that's Colorado,
most
right?
people- Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was thinking Colorado.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what am I doing? Am I having a stroke? Am I smelling burnt toast? What's going on?
No,
So, all right. Well, nobody's. You're not calling in.
nobody's calling in.
So, how do we get a hold of you, Junkyard Rat, if we wanted to be on your show, if we have questions or any of that shit?
Well, look me up. I'm Junkyard Rat on Instagram. I'm Chris Yabakasa on Facebook. My email is skiapakse@gmail.com. Yabakasa, is that me?
No. Yeah, that's totally you.
Well, that's me.
I was trying to find your page, but
Is
go ahead.
that, is that me? Is that me playing with a cake? But yeah,
I heard. Oh, that's funny. That's kind of funny.
Actually, I used to have an AOL account through my dad, but somebody spammed me and sent out like 6,000 emails. But I think my dad still has an AOL email and stuff. That's pretty good. Is he doing magic or
Yeah, he's doing magic.
is he just eating the cake? Like,
He's just
"Oh,
eating the
I'm gonna
cake,
make a
like-
cake disappear. I'm just gonna eat it all and stuff.
So I need to find yours.
Oh yeah, my Instagram.
Yeah,
It's Junkyard Rat.
yeah, I know.
I'm like the only Junkyard Rat.
I know. That's.
Junkyard Rat.
I'm gonna find it right now so we can show
Mhm.
it before we get out of here. Copy. Okay, so now I shouldn't have to enter this in like I do, but I
No,
do.
hell no. You gotta look for it. We don't
Yeah.
have much time. It's gonna be January 20th. Next show. We got inauguration. I don't know. What time do they do the inauguration? Are we gonna be on the air during the inauguration?
Middle of the day. Here's your
Yeah, that's
Here's your-
me. That's me.
here's your junkyard.
That's
Rat.
me. Now, are we gonna be on during the inauguration? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know why we wouldn't be.
No, because what I'm saying is is it gonna be going on the same time we're gonna be on?
Oh.
That's what I'm wondering.
Of course, yeah. It's not like we're being preempted.
No, I mean of course not. Like,
But here,
why do they do it in January? You know they used to do it in March.
right,
Because when Lincoln got inaugurated, it was in March.
right.
I guess they just didn't give a fuck about the wedding anymore. I don't know. There's my page.
There's your Junkyard Rat page.
What do you think of my page and all my flyers?
There you go.
I make my own flyers. What do you think about my flyers? and
Your
stuff?
flyers, their Instagram flyers.
Yeah, what do you think about my? Look at that one. Isn't that beautiful?
That's so beautiful.
I know. I mean, you know what? A couple of years ago, I would have never thought I could do shit like that. But Instagram is amazing. Like they don't even let me go on Instagram Live. They got mad at me because I put up a picture of a mushroom. One
They
time,
don't let you go live.
nah, I put a picture of some mushroom. They accused me of trying to sell drugs They're like, "You're trying to sell drugs." I'm like, "I'm not trying to sell drugs, okay?
Right. Okay.
I'm not trying to sell drugs, but yeah, they won't let me on Instagram Live. Don't let me on Facebook Live, which is really weird. It's the same fucking company. You think they would be smart enough to?
No, Zuckerberg's kissing Trump's ass. I saw him last week saying that he's
yeah.
not going to fact check shit anymore.
Well, I was talking about that.
Right.
He didn't say he was gonna fact check shit. He said that you're gonna get fact checked only by employees of Meta. You know.
He said that that team is no longer focusing on political misinformation.
Well, no, because I mean, the Biden administration was all up on his ass during COVID. They wanted the anti-vaxxer post taken down.
Right.
So basically, what he's saying is, we're not gonna listen to you fuckers anymore. You know, you guys lost the election. Lose my number, fool. Lose my number.
Right.
You know, but you know, I mean, it makes sense. You're head of one of the biggest companies in the world. You know, like why wouldn't you kick it with Trump? Why wouldn't you kick it with a new president? Right.
Right.
I mean, you got contracts. These people are gonna decide your future. I mean, why wouldn't you go do that? You know. That's the least you could do is go hang out with them, you know?
At least you can do.
I mean, they all did. Like, Bezos was there, too. They all went down to Mar-a-Lago and kicked it with him because he's the new president.
Right.
If it was Kamala, they would have been kicking with Kamala, smoking some blunts, you know?
Some blunts. Speaking of,
Talking about,
are we
like...
going to smoke a fatty when we get out of here?
Talking about how, you know, about Willie Brown and stuff, like... I saw Willie Brown one time on North Beach. Have you ever seen like Willie Brown just kicking it?
Yeah, at Comedy Day. I've talked to Willie Brown.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because does he still do that podcast with
The Will and Willie Show?
Yeah, the
Yes,
Will and Willie
yes,
Show.
He does.
Where do you find that? I would listen.
On YouTube, and I think it's Reality Check on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I would like to listen to that. Didn't Gavin have a podcast? Is it still on the air?
You know, that's a great question.
Gavin he was doing a podcast with Beast Mode and stuff. Marshawn Lynch and some comedian. I don't even know. This is
Will and Willie podcast.
Will and Willie. The Will and Willie Show.
So let me see here.
No.
I know it's there and I don't see it. That's funny. Oh, there's part of one. That's an old ass one.
So Obama, on the natural, because of the incredible amount of pride that African Americans have, they'll go vote for him without him having to ask. But they've got to be registered. And the Obama people ought to spend some of that huge treasure trove of money that they have finding those voters in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia.
Yeah, that's hella old. The one I just saw it's a lot newer than that. Yeah. Hey, and it says you're live right now. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
we got the inauguration next week.
Yep.
We got send us all your MAGA gear so we can wear it on the air.
Yeah, send us your MAGA gear.
Send us
I
your
just saw a
MAGA.
homeless guy with a MAGA hat on. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. So yeah, we're at that point.
It's time.
It is time.
Is everybody excited? But we're having a good time. I see your Zuma Beach hoodie hasn't burnt yet.
No, has not burnt yet.
It's
We're
not
good.
burnt yet.
We're
Oh.
good. So
Did you ever see I Heart Huckabees? Remember that movie?
remember the name, but
Oh yeah.
don't remember
I
it.
guess the writer died last week. He was a husband of Aubrey Plaza.
I know who Aubrey Plaza is.
Yeah.
Is she an actress?
Yeah, it's sad. He killed himself and stuff. Like, it's sad. I mean, like, yeah, Hollywood is a crazy place. Like, I had friends that killed themselves before, and like, it just sucks and stuff.
Well, yeah, and people are always left with the same question, right? They're always
Yeah.
left with
Yeah.
why? Why did they do it? And
Yeah.
it's not like we're ever gonna know exactly why they did it. I think when I think of that stuff, like even the Robin Williams thing. Well, he had Lewy body dementia. Yeah, but what brought him to where he was that day?
But he was misdiagnosed, wasn't he?
Right.
They
They
diagnosed
misdiagnosed, or he also, I guess they kind of knew he had it, but then he didn't have a big enough support system, I don't think. And here's a guy that's a millionaire, or was a millionaire, and didn't have the support system. It just shows you that we all struggle, and it doesn't matter how much money or how well adjusted you think they are. Reach out, tell somebody you care about them, give them a hug.
It's sad. My hearts go out to Aubrey, and I mean, I've never met her, but it's like it's almost like I've known her for years and stuff, and it just kind of sucks. People, you think that people have everything you want. Like I've had people die that I was jealous of their careers, and like now they're gone, and
Yeah, jealousy, even that, you never really know
Yeah.
who's going to be here today and tomorrow. And
that's
you just
true.
you have to thank your lucky stars that you're amongst the living every day.
Yeah, I mean, my house is still sitting, you know. I
Right.
know it's bad. I mean, I know a lot of people in LA, and you know, I know people affected. I'm not making fun of anything of the houses and all that, you know. But yeah, it's all crazy. And it's crazy that it's all happening. It's all happening right before Trump takes office, you know. It's all set up for Trump to come in and say,
Well, in a way, I'm glad that our current administration is there, because they'll actually get the funding, and it won't be as political. It will just get them the money, get them the resources they need. It shouldn't be a political thing.
You know that's not going to happen. I mean,
Well, no, Biden's already been here. Biden's already talked about it, and they have boots on the ground, and so he's getting the money. If it was a Trump thing, we'd still be hearing about how there wasn't water in the hydrants.
I don't think they're going to get that much funding. I mean, I think they need approval of the House and the Senate.
They get emergency declaration. They can get it.
That's true. The National Guard is down there.
And
so-
FEMA and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
they can actually work independent of that. They don't need Congress to sign off on
Well,
it.
I guess we'll get to see what happens down there.
Yes, we will. So all of our thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff is with those people down there in LA. I think we're out, Rat. Tell them bye. Do your thing.
See you next week.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week on the Junkyard Rat Show.
Hang loose.